Once upon a time, there was a place called Sky City, which floated majestically above the clouds. This city was held in the sky by a gigantic shining crystal called the Stone of Respect. The Stone of Respect was powered by the respect and kindness shown by all the beings in the city, and in return, it lit up the city and kept it afloat. The residents of the city, talking birds, shimmering fairies, and children who danced with the wind, always held the Stone of Respect in high regard. However, as time passed, this respect slowly began to fade. Leo, a 12-year-old boy and the city's fastest wind skater, was very proud of his skills. His talent, however, had made him arrogant. He would speed past, cutting off little cloud fairies, ignoring the words of his elders, and showing disrespect to the living creatures around him. To him, power and speed were all that mattered. One day, as Leo won a race, his victory cries echoed throughout the city. At that very moment, the light of the Stone of Respect began to flicker. It started with a slight tremor, followed by a loud rumble. The clouds beneath the city began to disperse, and the crystals of the buildings started to dim. The city fell into a state of panic. An old and wise skymaster named Kadim came to the city square. "The Stone of Respect is losing its power," he cried. "As kindness and respect diminish, the stone's energy is depleted. To restore its former strength, we must discover its deepest secret." Leo felt a sense of responsibility for what was happening, but he couldn't admit it to himself. He still believed that his speed and wind skater could solve anything. Kadim explained that for the Stone of Respect to be revived, they had to find the three lost ancient principles of respect: respect for nature, respect for differences, and empathy. These three principles were guarded by the most difficult challenges in the city. Leo stepped forward to take on this quest. Kadim handed Leo the map for the first journey. The first principle awaits you in the Valley of the Endless Storm. Do not try to conquer the wind with your own power. Leo mounted his wind skater and set off for the Valley of the Endless Storm. This was a place where the most ferocious winds of the sky roamed. Leo tried to fight against the wind, but the more he struggled, the angrier the wind became. His wind skater went out of control and he was thrown about in the storm. Just as he was about to fall, Kadim's voice echoed. "Do not fight the wind, listen to it, and respect its flow." Leo let go of his wind skater and surrendered to the wind's current. He closed his eyes and listened to the wind's whispers. The wind whispered the safest path to him. By allowing the wind to guide him, Leo successfully passed through the storm. The first principle, a golden light, settled in his heart: respect for nature. For the second principle, his path led him to the luminous crystal labyrinth. The labyrinth was made of thousands of crystals, each playing a different note. The guardian of this labyrinth was a mysterious creature that communicated through sounds. As soon as Leo entered, he grew tired of the labyrinth's silence and began to shout loudly. This disrespectful act caused the crystals of the labyrinth to crackle and shift in a chaotic way. Leo was instantly lost. The more he shouted, the more tangled the labyrinth became. When he sat down in despair, the labyrinth's guardian appeared. It tried to communicate with him in whispers and melodies. Leo didn't understand at first, but then he began to listen patiently. He realized that to understand differences, sometimes you need to use different methods. He tried to communicate with whispers and melodies in return. Thanks to this respectful communication, the creature showed him the way out. The second principle, shown in his heart: respect for differences. The last and most difficult task was to face the Endless Echo, a monstrous creature that moaned beneath the city, trembling everything with fear. The Endless Echo was a gigantic being made of chaos and noise, feeding on people's insensitive words and rude behavior. Leo tried to defeat this noise monster with the power of his wind skater. He shouted louder and moved faster to silence it, but the echo absorbed his voice and anger, growing even larger and more terrifying. Just as Leo was about to give up, Kadim's voice echoed again. "If you fight disrespect with disrespect, it will only grow stronger. Approach it with empathy and see its loneliness." Leo realized that the echo was not just made of noise. It was in pain, because it fed on the bad energy from people. He understood how much his own arrogance had fed this monster. Leo let go of his wind skater and walked slowly towards the echo during its most frightening moment. There was no anger or fear on his face, only understanding and compassion. He didn't speak. He simply held out his hand, as if to say, "I understand you." The echo's noise slowly diminished. The respect and empathy in Leo's gesture had calmed the chaos within the echo. The creature became silent and opened a path for him. Leo's heart was filled with the final principle: empathy. When Leo reached the stone of respect, it was completely dark. As he touched the stone, the energy of the three principles in his heart was transferred to it. The stone of respect began to shine again with the power it had gained from Leo's adventures. This time, its light was more powerful than ever before. It had not only revived the stone, but also made the seeds of respect sprout in the hearts of everyone in the city. When Leo returned to the city, he was no longer the arrogant boy he once was. He used his wind skater not just for fun, but to help those in need. He listened to the elders, gave way to the little fairies, and was kind to everyone. Sky City, having learned its lesson from Leo's journey, returned to its former glorious days. And so, the children of Sky City passed Leo's story down from generation to generation. They taught them that respect was not just a word, but an action, a behavior, and a magical power carried in the heart. Because they knew that the greatest power in the universe was not speed or arrogance, it was the respect in one's heart. Remember, children, respect is not just about saying hello to someone. Respect is about being patient with those who are different, listening to the voice of nature, and trying to understand everyone's feelings. These small seeds that sprout in the heart can turn the world into a huge garden of love. The more respect you show, the more respect you will receive.